Hello, hello, hello. Let me see. Why is this over here? One second, guys. Hey there, how are you? Thank you guys so much for joining me here today. Um, I know it's the Sunday right after Christmas, but thankfully, hopefully, most of you have recovered from all that eating and unboxing of gifts, and hopefully, you're able to clean up and do a little bit of resting yesterday too. But I thought about doing this live today for a couple of different reasons. I was having a discussion yesterday with a client, and she was talking about some of the great ideas that she has that is just laying there dormant in her womb. And for whatever reason, she was hesitant. She was scared to go out, really take that leap of faith and beginning to birth those ideas. So it stayed with me overnight. And then I ended up having a conversation this morning with a gentleman who we were talking about purpose, right? And when I realized what he was saying, what she said yesterday too, I just said, you know what? Let's just jump on the live real quickly. So that's why you got some of the short notices in talking about the topic today, which is your purpose has been incubating for too long. So again, I will repeat that. Your purpose has been incubating for too long. Now, before I go any further, hopefully you followed the instructions that asked you to share. Grab your girlfriend, grab your guy friend, whomever you think that will really benefit from this live. Because at the end of the day, we all have a purpose that we must fulfill. And we all have ideas, goals, whatever terminology that works for you, that we had sitting there too long. We are only 3 days before 2020 is over, but we can still position ourselves to have an even stronger 2021. I know 2021 has been a year that is just unlike no other for, I think, the whole world. But we don't necessarily have to take that mindset into 21. We can constantly take that mindset. We're a warrior. We will overcome. We will fight back. We will push back. We will do whatever it needs to do to be able to go forward. So with all of that being said, welcome to the live today. And who am I? So I'm Judy Ann Chung. I am your brilliance activator. I help women to achieve their goals by strengthening their confidence, being unapologetic rather in unboxing their talent, which allows them to activate their brilliance and soar. So that is basically what I do. Now, as I shared with you this morning, my head is all the way in the morning, shared with you a few minutes ago rather, is that the topic of this live is your purpose has been incubating for too long. Right. And to those of you who will watch us in the replay, because as I said, I know this is short notice, feel free to go ahead and leave your comments, whatever you want to do at the time. No problem. All right. So let's just define purpose. Right. So, people may have different ideas of what the definition is, but I'm going to use a definition that I pulled from the internet. It says your life purpose consists of the central motivation aims of your life, the reasons why you get up in the morning. And that purpose can guide your decisions. It can influence your behavior. It can shape your goals, and it can offer you a sense of direction in creating meaning for your life. Now, I like to take that a little bit further in also saying that oftentimes when you look at your purpose, if your purpose is just serving you alone, then chances are that's just a goal that you wanted to achieve. Because usually your purpose is much bigger. It has a much greater scope in that it serves multiple other people. It serves other people. So it's not just you. It may help you in terms of, say you're doing something in your business, right? And you're gaining income from that. You're gaining a revenue. You're maintaining a lifestyle. However, the work that you're doing is helping other people to go forward. It is helping people to achieve their dreams. So one of the things that I want you to keep in mind is that whenever you decide not to walk in your purpose, not to accomplish the goals that are attached to your purpose, what you're in essence you're doing is that you are holding back the opportunities that the people who are dependent on your efforts, right? So you're holding them back also. So think about that when you think about your your purpose. So Michelle says, my purpose has to be much larger than just me. Absolutely, Michelle. And that's one of the things that I usually love to drive home, right? Because we think about our purpose of being so myopic, but it's so much of a much bigger scope, because a purpose will always serve multiple facets, multiple persons, right? Never just you alone. Okay. So now that we've defined that, says, okay, I'm holding back others when I don't walk in my purpose. Absolutely, right? And even sometimes you'll hear like story coaches, who helps you to tell your story in a more effective ways. They usually tell you even your story is not for yourself. The trial, the tribulations that you're going through, they're really not for you alone. They are for you to be able to package them in such a way that will help other people to recognize, I am not alone in this journey. I too can, rise up and achieve what I need to achieve. Alrighty, so let's move on from there. At the end of the day, if you think about the topic that I said, right, I said that your purpose has been incubating for too long. If you really think about it, if something has been incubating for too long, what is happening is that you're stuck in a level of procrastination, right? And you really don't want to be there. So now what leads to your procrastination, right? Now, do you agree that if your purpose is incubating too long, do you agree that that is attached to procrastination? So talk back to me. Let me see what you think. So Michelle says, Julian, you're walking in your purpose has helped me so much. Awesome. That makes me feel good. Awesome sauce. Okay. So now going back to the question that I asked, right, where I said, I forgot what I said. Anyway, so the coming back to the point, what I'm saying is, about the procrastination part. I got distracted a little bit. Sorry, guys. So that's the great thing about life. You get distracted. You see the words, everything. So anyway, but the point is, what I was saying is that if you are incubating your purpose, if you're incubating that big goal, that big idea that that can go out there and you help other people, and it's been incubating and you're not taking the necessary steps and the necessary actions, what happens is that you are procrastination. That is in alignment with procrastination. So tell me whether you agree with that or not. Do you think that's a form of procrastination? And that is where that you are stuck and you possibly need the help to go on. I'm going to switch my glasses because this is a Blu-ray one and I think I'm seeing some reflection stuff. Yeah, that's probably a little bit better. I don't see the reflection there anymore. So yeah. So, give me your thoughts about what you think about it. Do you think that is also stuck into procrastination? That's where you're there. That's why you're incubating those, your idea, your purpose for so long. So while you take a while to respond to that, what I want to do is also go forward, right? And it says, okay, now sticking with the procrastination mindset, right? What are some of the reasons that we procrastinate? Let me see if I got an answer here. Oh, okay, yeah, he says you believe it's a form of procrastination. Absolutely, it is, right? So let's now take a look at what are some of the reasons. Now, this may not be the all-encompassing reason as to why there's procrastination, but it is part of the reasons, right? So the first one is you may be afraid to succeed, right? Now, if anybody's here that's listening to the live or you listen to the replay, then you may say, that could be true. Do I feel, scared that, okay, if I succeed, what does that mean? Does it mean that I have bigger responsibilities? What is it at the root of that? Then the other reason could be that you're also afraid to fail, right? Because, usually we develop all these crazy and big ideas and we really make them bigger than they really are. We make them into news headlines that, if I fail, oh my gosh, the world will be on fire. Where the truth is, you haven't failed. You have learned ways how not to proceed. So now you know that you just need to readjust to go forward, right? Now, the only time you can truly fail is that you just stop and do nothing anymore, right? That's it. That's the only time that that can be considered truly failure. Now, the other reason could be that you don't want to acknowledge your shortcomings. Now, a lot of people really don't like that. They get a little bit sensitive about, do I have a shortcoming? Yes, you do. We all do. You know why? Because we're human and we're not perfect. So yes, there's always going to be a gap. There's always going to be something that we are not that good at, we are not the expert in. So we have a couple different things, and I'm going to, follow through to this. I'm going to give you some ideas of, how we can get over this procrastination mindset, right? So the other one could be, I was like, you just need to adjust your perception of time, right? So some of us that are always late, sometimes I'm like that too. Confession is good for the soul. Sometimes, right? That we think we have more time than we do, right? So we end up rushing. Or we think, okay, no big deal. I'll just get it done next week, and next week continue to just go on and on and on. And the next thing we know, we're in 2021 and you haven't done that thing because you think, oh, you have so much time. Now, I'm not trying to make anybody feel scared or take this in a morbid conversation. But if anything that 2020 has shown us is that life is fragile. I'm sure everyone here has been touched by either a family member or a friend, a colleague, a church member, an associate, right? Somebody you heard through the grapevine that has either passed, been ill, or something that is catastrophic, right? It has been a very difficult year. So that's why sometimes you don't have as much time as you think you do. As they say, the perfect time is now, right? Okay. So the next one is that you have an all or nothing mindset. So maybe because you don't have all the pieces of the cards together, then you think, okay, you know what? If I don't have everything together, then I am not going to go ahead and do this because I don't have all the pieces of the cards together. No. You see, they have a saying in the coaching, right? They'll tell you just start. Whether your program is perfect or not, it doesn't matter, right? You just start with what you have. You start at the point. And then as you go through the process, you will gain skills, you will get feedback, you will get a better understanding, and you will become better at doing what needs to be done, right? So that's one thing. Then the other one that you could also that be helping you with the procrastination, to keep you in that procrastination state, is that you don't practice self-compassion. Now, how many of us can really, really, really attest to that, where we truly do not give ourselves grace? So because we don't give ourselves grace, oh my gosh, I got to be so perfect. I mean, look at this slide, right? I changed my glasses. I had some, switch up with the words, whatever, but it doesn't matter. The fact is, are you getting the content of what is it that I am trying to convey to you, right? Do we strive to have things in order and in excellence? Absolutely. But that is not to the point where I won't give myself grace. Oh, woe is me. I'm going to fall apart because I had a few snafus during my life. So what, right? So give ourselves some grace. All right. And then the last one in terms of the procrastination mindset is I have too many problems, right? Now, the truth is we all have a lot of problems. 2020 has been, as I said before, a year like no other, where man, you have problems that you never even thought you would ever have, right? But the fact is that we do. So those are just some of the areas where, in terms of when you think about the mindset, and maybe you can relate to, one of the 7s that I gave a while ago. I'll repeat them just real quickly. You are afraid to succeed. You're afraid that you may fail. You don't want to acknowledge your shortcomings. You need to adjust your perception of time. You have an all or nothing mindset. You don't practice self-compassion, and you think that you have too many problems, right? So those are some of the 7 things that may keep you in that procrastination stage. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is we're not going to leave you there. We're not going to identify what the potential issues are and just leave you, right? So now we're going to take you into what are some of the tips and the ways in which you can then come out of that incubator and begin to birth your process. In other words, you're leaving that procrastination mindset, that procrastination stage behind. No longer will that be your home. All right. So, but before I go even further, okay, so Michelle says chasing perfection is dangerous. Absolutely. I think it will add, have you end up in a mental ward, quite frankly, because nobody's perfect, right? Unless you think you're God, which of course, we're not, right? So nobody's perfect. All right. So before I give you the tips though, so there's something that I wanted to share with you also. So part of one of the things that I'm always working on is about mindset, and how do we think about certain things. And there is a collaboration that I'm part of, which is called Seasons of Bloom. And the reason I agreed to be part of it is because that's the fact of the title, Seasons of Blooms. Bloom, and I'm all about hope. I'm all about how do we persevere? How do we have patience? How do we go from season to season? So basically what it is a 365 days devotional, and that would be available to you guys on in January. If you're interested in it, you can just drop me in the comments below, and then at some point when it's available, I will reach out to you. But it's called Seasons of Bloom, and it focuses on the 4 different P's, which is centered around patience, purpose, perseverance, etc. So that's just another nugget that I wanted to drop out there, right? So again, look out for that. It's called Seasons of Bloom, and I believe that it really will be instrumental when we go forward in 2021 rather, and the fact that you have it in January, so you're getting it at the beginning of the year. All right, so you'll be positioned. Okay, now let's go back to the tips, right? Now, what do we do now to position ourselves to move from that procrastination stage, right? I love, there's a quote that was said by, I think it was Miles Monroe, right? He says, your problems are no more powerful than your purpose, right? So I want somebody to describe that in there. It says, your problems are no more powerful than your purpose. So the thing that I said that to you before, because I want to use that as a framework to let you feel even more comfortable, to say that the fact that, before one of the items that was keeping you stuck was that I have too many problems, right? But remember, it says your problems are no more powerful than your purpose. So because it's no more powerful than your purpose, you can then release that fear and begin to take those baby steps. So one of the first things that you can do, right? The first thing that you can do is to make a decision and determine that you are going to birth your purpose. You're going to birth that vision. You're going to birth that goal, whatever it is, that idea that is sitting in there in the placenta, right? Waiting to bust open into the world, waiting to serve other people. You can make that decision. You don't have to have all the steps. You don't have to have it done packed. You don't even have to know what you're doing. You just have to make the first step. Number 1 is to make this decision that I'm going to come from the incubator. I'm going to take my idea, take my purpose out of that placenta. Okay. Now, the next thing that you can do is then, okay, so now this is the vision. All right. Now I can now do a skill assessment, right? So, okay, awesome, Natalie. Thanks for describing that for me, right? So you can do a skill assessment on what is it? How does your current skill line up with whatever it is that your purpose is, that idea, that vision that you want to put out to the world? How does your skill set lines up? And the reason why you do that is because you remember, you don't want to just go blindly, right? Remember, I said you don't have to have all the steps, but then you don't have to be blind, right? Because then you can do things that would allow you to assess your current level of expertise. And that would let you see, okay, do I need to go increase my knowledge in a particular area? Do I need to, farm something out to somebody, hire somebody else that is better suited to help me with that part of my vision, that part of my purpose, right? So that's one of the reasons why you're doing the skill assessment, so you can be able to see where the gaps are and where you must currently fill them. All right. So the next thing is that I also like to talk about. I love dealing with mindset, right? So guard your language. A lot of the times the words that comes out of our mouth is a self-saboteur to our life, to our vision, to our purpose. So we are already self-sabotaging ourselves by our own language, right? In the Bible, they say, there's power, life in the death or life in the power of the tongue, or something like that. I don't remember the exact wording, but some pastors aren't here. You write the right quote for me. I'm terrible with the quoted scriptures. But the point is, you get the essence of it, that our tongue and the words that comes out of our mouth are so powerful that we can either kill our own dreams before we even start, right? And we don't want to be able to do that. We want to be able to actually speak positive things, speak things that as if they already are, right? So that's one of the things. Just be mindful of your language, right? Because remember, it starts in the mind before it exits out of your mouth. So the other thing that I wanted you to also think about is to break down your goals in bite-sized chunks. They said what's the best way to eat an elephant is to basically one, bite at a time. So that's the same concept there. You break it down, your goals, the achievement, because whatever that particular purpose is, the vision, the goal, whatever the idea, it has to have specific steps, right? And attached to those steps, you can put timelines. What date must this be accomplished, et cetera, et cetera. And then you do bite size each time, right? Now, when you do the bite size, one of the things that you also do to help you along so yet you can stay abreast in accomplishing those goals is that you reward yourself. It could be this ice cream, right? It could be whatever you want that to be, a pat on the back, whatever, right? Woman, you love shoes, go buy a pair of shoes, whatever works for you. Reward yourself along the way. So this way it will keep you encouraged and it will keep you focused and consistent. All right. So the other thing obviously there are a lot more, but I don't want to keep you here too long. But the other thing that is also really, really very important, well, at least two other things that I would say, is that at one point you can also say, part of the help that I need is that I need a mentor, I need a coach, someone that will also help me to keep me accountable so that I stay and stick with the plan. And I do what it is that I said I was going to do and what I had set out to do. So at the end of the day, I'm able to continuously accomplish my purpose, accomplish my mission, accomplish my idea, birth that idea. All right. And then apart from doing that, make sure that you do appropriate self-care. Self-care is such a huge thing. Now, what do I mean by self-care? People like to think, we just go to a spa. Listen, I'm all about going to the spas and all that. But in addition to that, I'm talking about self-care from a holistic point of view, which in terms, the mind, body, and the soul, your spirituality, all of that, you need self-care, right? So self-care is so, 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 so important that we have to really tap into that. Do you go and see, apart from your coach that you may have, but are there things that are at the source that is holding you back that maybe occurred from childhood where you possibly want to then say, okay, maybe I will, see a therapist, maybe I'll see a counselor, right? There are so many that are around here that are so good, right? That you can definitely go in and seek that. From a spiritual point of view, who are you tapping into? Who are you listening to? Who's your shepherd? Who's helping you build that spiritual side of your life? What are you reading? Are you reading your Bible? What is it that you're doing that allows you to build yourself from a spiritual point of view, right? For everybody that may look different, right? And I'm not here to tell you what it's supposed to look like, as long as you're doing things that will help strengthen you from a mental, emotional, spiritual, and a physical point of view. All right. Of course, from the physical point, are you going to the gym? Are you eating properly? Are you covering nutrition? So those are some of the things that will help you to move that purpose out of the incubator stage. And I also noticed that who just joined me is no other than Tamika Walker Chapman, and she is the main author, the lead author for the Season of Blooms. And so Tamika, welcome, welcome, welcome. I just spoke about it a little bit early. I told them that was one of the great ways that they can begin the new year in terms of starting off with that hope, right? Because it takes you through the different seasons, right? And it is for 365 days. So it really, truly helps you in how can you truly, truly, truly function in such a way that will keep you healthy, right? Because we're all going to come through valley experiences. And at some point, we want to be able to say, you know what? I'm able to have a resource that I can go back to. And, when I feel a little bit, like I need some encouragement, I need some inspiration. So, Tamika, thank you so much for joining us here. And again, if you want to drop anything in the comments that you'd like me to say there, no problems. Okay, she says, Absolutely. Start off the new year on the right foot. Absolutely. And that's what we want everybody here to do. And, we will be taking that journey with you too. Don't think it's just like this you alone, because this is not a situation where it's just, a one-time thing. Because listen, with the type of year that we have had, everybody needs some kind of help in terms of self-care, in terms of strengthening for birthing or big ideas, right? Okay. So I just wanted to share that with you. If you have any other questions, feel free to share them with me, but on the live here, and I'll make sure I respond to them if you have. But the other things that I want you to leave you with is that, God desires us that we have a joyful, ambitious, and purposeful life. All right. So because he desires that of us, it does make sense for us to want to birth our purpose, right? Because remember what he says, right? He desires for us to have a joyful, ambitious, and purposeful life, right? And remember, it's not just to live and exist. Go to work every day if you're working, if you're an entrepreneur, just do what you need to do, and then that's just it. No, we have a purpose to fulfill. So, okay. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So any other questions? I'm trying to be in here on the 30-minute mark, and I'm almost there. Any other questions? I'm going to hang tight for a little bit. While I'm hanging tight, I also want to share with you a quote that I love from Dolly Parton, because it centers about leadership, right? And at the end of the day, we are here as leaders. It says, if your actions create a legacy that inspires others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, then you are an excellent leader. So I love that quote, and I've quoted it more than once, but I'm probably going to be quoting it a lot because I think it's great. The thing that resonated a lot with me is when it says, if you can inspire others. So hold on. So let's do the setup, right? Imagine your purpose. I just want you to visualize this for a second. Imagine your purpose can inspire others to dream more, to learn more, to do more, and become more. Now, tell me that is not the kind of leader that you want to be able to become, right? Because, as Michelle Obama with her book says, becoming, we are becoming, right? Because we're in a constant state of becoming. So we're never there. The only time you're there is when you're dead. And listen, I'm going to speak life over everyone on this live, right, as we going into 2021. So guys, I haven't seen any other questions, but I hope you have found this useful. Again, just to let you know, the Seasons of Bloom is coming here in January. Make sure that you use that as something that could be quite helpful to you. Oh yeah. Oh, I absolutely love it. As a matter of fact, I think what I'll do is that I would drop it in the because it's a little bit long. I drop it in the comments field if anybody else wants to steal it. I'm all about, great information. It's not mine. So, but if everybody wants to use it too, feel free. Yeah. So, okay, guys, thank you so much for listening, and hopefully you have found this useful. Again, just to recap some of the steps, make a decision, determine that you are going to birth that purpose of yours, this idea, that goal, do a skill assessment, and then this way that will allow you to see the areas of gap that you need to strengthen or farm out. Guard your language, work on your mindset. Basically, apply self-care, get that mentor, get that coach, read that book, whatever, take that class, whatever it is that you need to do, along with getting that accountability partner and setting realistic deadlines. And of course, rewarding yourself for each milestone that you come across, giving yourself bite-sized milestone. So hopefully you have found that helpful, and it helped you and give you some ideas to position you going into 2021. I've enjoyed talking to you. And listen, I'm looking forward to going into 2021 with you, and stronger than we did, here in 2020. If for a minute that you thought that you did not have perseverance, that you did not that you did not have perseverance, that you weren't strong. Well, I hope 2020 has shown you that you have what it takes to persevere. You have what it takes to continue to become. You have what it takes to have that hope, to have that confidence. And Tamika just also shared that everyone can pre-order their copy of The Seasons of Bloom from Judy today. Great. So, and guys, and as I said, reach out to me. You can DM me, or you can, put me in the comment field if you want me to reach out to you in terms of the pre-ordering of the book. Please go ahead and do so, right? And yeah. So, all right, guys, I'm going to bid you farewell. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Again, my name is Judy Ann Chung. I am your Brilliance Activator, and I help women like you to achieve their goals by strengthening their confidence, being unapologetic about unboxing their talents. Alrighty, thank you so much. See you in 2021. Bye for now. Thanks.